Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to Transylvania. My name is Fran, and I'm in the maple business. Today, I'm going to be doing taking care of some maintenance items. Mainly, I've got a project going now where I have to replace the drops in my Sugarbush, which is something that we have to do every few years, and I'll explain that later. But it's November. It's a good time to be working in the woods. A lot of times during the summer, it's very hot, and there's a lot of bugs and ticks and briars and thorns that you have to put up with. This time of year, it's not too cold yet, but I still have to put on a few extra clothes, and it's a much better time to be working in the woods. So, well, we'll get started. Sugarbush. And these guys here are what we have to replace. I know they don't look very bad, but they're about 5 years old. So typically what we do during maple season, which is not yet, we'll drill a hole in the tree, and then this gets tapped into the tree. However, what happens is over a period of time, you get some film or buildup and excessive bacteria in these drops, we call them. This is called a drop. And that bacteria can make its way into your tap hole during maple season. And that causes your tap hole to stop flowing prematurely, therefore cutting into your maple production. So every few years, no more than 5 years, we have to replace these drops. So what I'm using here is just a pair of these blunt cutters like this. I'm using these cutters, and all we do is it's kind of hard to do with one hand. So I'm just gonna sort of nip this like that and like that. Usually it goes a lot quicker than this. There, just cut her off, and we're gonna go around and we're gonna do this to all these drops. And try it like this for a little bit, see if we can see what's going on. Get my tool out. There we go. Go from one tree to the next. It's good exercise right after Thanksgiving, that's for sure. Here's an end tap. Well, I have these arranged. This is an end tree. This side is plugged, so the sap only goes one way. But I have a main line down there with a bunch of these laterals coming off of it. And every time I get to a tree, we have a drop. And that's what we have to change every few years. What I'll do after this is I'll gotta buy some new tubing, and then we gotta cut all of these 36-inch lengths, and we'll put new drops on. Now what I typically like to do is I'll also put new taps on each one as I make the new drops. Usually at the end of the season, which would have been last spring, I clip this right here, and I get rid of the old drop, because these taps are only good for 1 year. I only use them 1 year and then we throw them away. I left them on this year because I knew I was going to be doing this job, so it was a lot quicker for me to pull taps last spring by just going from tree to tree and just yanking them all out. No sense wasting time and separating the taps from the drops if I'm only going to cut it all off and throw it away anyways. Why didn't I do this last summer? Because, well, working in the woods in the summertime can be a real challenge. Plus, it's my peak sales season. I'm managing my farmer's market and my other venues, and I'm making product and bottling syrup for wholesale customers, and it's just a very busy time. Well, it's another day. Here we are again. We're going to be removing these old drops again. The reason why I'm showing some more now is because I kind of messed up the other day. I didn't really like the way the video turned out, so I'll try it again today. And there goes a deer over there, just standing there looking at me. It's not standing there anymore. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be pulling these old tap drops here. Like I said, they don't look that bad, but we replace them. Here's one that's got some mold and some mildew inside of it there. A lot of them have more than that, but we replace these, like I said before. I try to make them last 5 years because it is kind of an expensive project, but we have to replace them every few years at least, so that the bacteria doesn't make its way into the tap hole during tapping season, which is this spring. This is the beginning of December. What we do is we'll tap a hole in a tree somewhere, and then we put this tap spile in there. And what we don't want to have happen is when the tree cools down, it draws in. It kind of develops a partial vacuum on its own, and anything that's in the tube can get drawn into the tap hole. And if it's bacteria laden, that will close your tap hole prematurely, because the growth of microorganisms inside the tap hole is what shuts off the flow of sap at the end of the season. So we replace these drops every few years so that we circumvent that problem as best we can. So let's get to work. Try to do this quick as possible. We're going to hustle right along. I might have said it before, but these plastic tap spiles, we usually remove them every year. They're disposable. At the end of the season, I cut the tubing and I throw that away. I left them on this year because I knew I was going to be replacing these, so I didn't waste my time cutting them off and slowing myself down when I was pulling taps last spring. Trying to get this so that you can see it. It's just a simple little process here. I'll get a good handful of them here, then I'll put them in the bag. Helps me move along as quick as I can. Okay, there's that line. The next one's right there. Had to take a quick phone call there. Make sure my camera's running. Yes, it is. Now I gotta snake my way underneath here. Okay. Right now I'm in Sugarbush 2. I'm doing this project to Sugarbush 1 and 2, which obviously isn't my whole operation, but these are the two sugar bushes that are due to have this done to them this year. Down there. Well, let's get these first. Leave that one alone for now. Gonna try to do at least 600 or 700 of these today. That'll get me most of the way done with this sugar bush. I'll finish up tomorrow morning, and then I'll be ready to, I'll be ready to cut some new tubing and put the new drops on. I'll have to make up about, I'm thinking about 3,400 new drops. That's what I'm replacing here this year. So I'll just keep doing this until I'm done for today. Well, here we are later in the day. I got all these drops pulled off. I don't have any room for any more. Now I gotta take these down and throw them in my pile so I can make room for some more. I'm almost done with this sugar bush. I only have 2 more main lines to go, and they're just short lines. But sure is a beautiful day. It's getting late though. I'll get these down there, and maybe I can make it up here in time to get the rest of them. That'll all go to recycling. I'll take it to Buffalo and they'll recycle it. Back up for more. Well, I'm going to try to knock the last little bit out here today. See how far I do. These are 2 short lines. I should get them done. Well, there you have it, folks. I'm back at the barn now. That part of the job is done. Got all the old drops off, and now the next step is to go get the tubing and cut it to length and make the new drops, and then put all the new drops on where I took the old ones off. The battery went dead on the camera here, so that's why I'm sitting in the truck charging it. But anyways, I'm going back to Happy Valley now and get some dinner. Be sure to like and subscribe, and there will be more maple videos to come. Have a good evening.